It's a chilly 16 degrees. Let's go for a ride. Hi, and welcome to another episode of David Rides a Trike. I'm David, I'm riding a trike. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, I try to provide a little motivation to people with chronic illnesses and disabilities to get out and do some fun form of exercise. Why? Because doing something like that can be therapeutic, and doing something fun always turns out to be some fun. Of course, you should only do whatever exercise or sport you decide to do with a doctor's permission. Personally, I fall into both the chronically ill and disabled categories. I was diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic when I was a year and a half old. I've had 3 organ transplants. I'm legally blind. Had stage 3 cancer and a long list of other illnesses and maladies I won't get into. So yeah, it's 16 degrees. There's a considerable wind out of the northwest, dropping the wind chill down to, when I looked a little earlier, it was 1 degree Fahrenheit. It's probably a couple degrees warmer than that now, but it's cold. And I figured, what better time to do a video on the pros and cons of riding outdoors in the winter. So let's start with the pros. And of course, these are just all my opinions. You know, none of this is based in fact, it's just how I feel. The first pro is riding outdoors is almost always better than riding indoors on a trainer. I spend a lot of time in the house. I work from home, and while I do get out to walk Franny, our dog, 5 days a week for a good walk, with the COVID situation and everyone being told to stay home, it gets hard sometimes. So getting out and doing something, especially something you enjoy, really is nice. It's a great break. It helps you to reset. The second pro of riding outdoors is the change in scenery. Yeah, all the green foliage and lush growth is gone, but there is something to be said about the look of a freshly fallen snow. Of course, once it starts melting and turns black from all the tires off, it's not quite as scenic, but I don't know anybody who doesn't like the look of freshly fallen snow, other than if you have to drive through several inches of it. The third pro is riding on the bike paths and trails in the winter, which unfortunately I can't do right now because of strategically placed banks of snow, which have me confined to just the streets around my home. But if you can get out to the trails, they're much less crowded this time of year. This past year, the trails got a lot busier because of COVID. A lot of people were home, and they discovered these trails for walking, running, cycling, and they were really crowded this year. And a lot of those people, and not just them, a lot of the existing trail users weren't aware or didn't adhere to trail etiquette. Basic things, keeping to the right of the trail, alerting somebody when you're going to pass them, things like that. So the colder weather usually weeds out the newbies and those who aren't as diehard. So the trails consequently are a lot less crowded and easier to ride. Those are my pros. And now for the cons. The first one, for me at least, is obvious. It's being cold. I do not like being cold. When I'm cold, I am just far less comfortable. I would way rather be hot than cold. When I'm cold, I'm much stiffer, my range of motion is much less, and it's just uncomfortable. And those parts of me that are really cold, like right now the bare skin on my face and my feet, which don't have much protection other than the shoes, get really uncomfortable. The second con for me is I feel like the Michelin Man. In order to stay warm in the cold weather, I think by now everyone knows the secret is wearing layers. Just pile on the layers and it does work. However, I feel all puffed up and, as I said, like the Michelin Man, just can't move. I feel like I'm bound somehow, and I don't like that feeling. In the summer, even though now I cover my skin, I still feel very loose, and I like that feeling a lot more. The third con is, and I've talked about the converse of this before, riding in the summer always makes me feel like a kid. And I know a lot of you have voiced the same opinion. Something about riding a bike that takes you back to your childhood. And as a kid, I spent a lot of time outdoors, playing baseball, riding my bike, in the fall playing football. I was outside all the time and have great memories of that. And riding seems to trigger those memories, and even more so than the memories, the feeling. That feeling of being out and about with your friends, not a care in the world, and just having a great time. In the winter, I was out too. We were out a lot. We used to play football in the snow. Used to go to the park and ice skate. I played hockey all through the winter outdoors, and it was great. But riding outdoors in the winter just does not trigger those feelings of joy or those childhood memories. So that's about it. It's a short episode, 3 pros, 3 cons. Let me know in the comments below what you think. I know a lot of you have written to me and told me you like riding in the winter, that's great, you know. Everybody has their own likes and dislikes. But comment down below. Give me a thumbs up down below. Also, if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Doing so will help get my videos out to a lot more people so that they're seen. I've heard from quite a few people who have said watching my videos has given them the motivation to go out and do something healthy for themselves, which is great. That's the goal of this. And when you do comment and subscribe, all those things, those have to be done on the YouTube page. Doing so on the Facebook page doesn't really help accomplish those goals. You have to click through so that you're on YouTube to do those things. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next ride, or if there's a lot of snow, on the next walk. Bye-bye. Doing so will help my videos get out to a lot more people so that